Hello and welcome to another bodgit and leggit video. Now we're going to do another tool review, and I'm reviewing this 12 volt air compressor. It's a T-Max. It's the bigger one. There's two models of T-Max, and this is the bigger, heavier, dutier one. As you can see, you get the big pump, and they are quite big. It's surprising. You see from the size of my hand just how big these are. What you get with it is you get the actual cord, the air line, and you get the gauge, plus you get the actual thing that screws onto the valve. As you can see, I've let the tyre completely down just to show you basically what this does. All you do then is you hook it up directly to the battery. Now, if you buy the cheaper versions of these, the ones you plug in the cigarette lighter, your cigarette lighter, even though it gives you 12 volts, doesn't give you the proper amperage. Directly to your battery, you will get the full power of the actual car. You do need to turn your car on, but for this I'm not going to do that, just so you can hear me kind of talk. But I would suggest turning your engine on, because you will drain your battery very, very quickly. I've got a good heavy diesel battery in this, so I'm going to get away with it. But if I was doing all four tyres, the car mostly wouldn't start afterwards. So as you can see, it's just wired into the car. Now with these, what I would suggest is buy a decent one. Don't buy them cheap ones from the garage, because you'll maybe get one use out of them and they're just crap. They really are. This one is a good heavy duty one. Even with this one, you don't leave these running for long. I think the maximum is like 15 minutes, and you let it cool down, because even these can overheat and do damage. That's what kills these. You know, people just leave them running expecting they can run for hours. When they just can't, you will kill them. So all I'm going to do is very simple. Now, what these are obviously good for is, I'm going to show in another video how to repair tyres. Now, I know you might say, well, what good is this if I've got a big hole in the tyre? It's not going to do anything. Well, I'm going to show you how to repair a tyre and a little kit that you can leave in your car. So if you do manage to pick up a nail, and as you come home, you get up for work in the morning, your tyre is flat, you know, now you can change it obviously, but this will be a lot quicker. So I'm going to show you that in another video, how to actually repair them. For this, I'm just going to show you what this thing can actually do. So what we need to do is, this just literally screws into the valve. Very, very simple, nothing to it. So you just get to the valve, so you screw that all the way in. It is important you go all the way in. And as you can see from our gauge, we've just got absolutely nothing. Now, like I said, it is best to have the car running. I'm not going to do that just so you can basically hear me, even though you're not going to be able to really hear me over the compressor, but you're going to get the idea. So I'm going to switch it on. It's just literally a switch. As you can see, the gauge is going up. Now, if I had the engine on, obviously this thing would work a hell of a lot quicker. Now, you don't go off what the gauge says. You have to turn it off to read the gauge, and you have to do it with all of them. So even though the gauge went up there, doesn't mean you got that much pressure. You have to turn the gauge off to see how much pressure you've actually got in. Now, as you can see, after a couple of seconds, literally, I've got, what's that, like 15 psi in there. So it's very, very quick, this one. Turn it off again, we can see we're close there now. I've worked it out on this particular tyre anyway, around 50 to 55 psi once the thing is running, gives me about 32 psi in the tyre. We're hitting 50 there now. And as we can see, we're more or less bang on. So that's it really. Like I said, it is best to keep your car running. It will go up quicker and you won't wear your battery down. This is a really good bit of kit. The cheap ones, like I said, honestly, that they are a waste of time. You do need one that connects direct to your battery to get the full power from your car, because otherwise your cigarette lighter is okay to charge your phone, but it's not okay to run one of these. If I was trying to run that off the cigarette lighter, it would run, but it would struggle. It wouldn't run anywhere near as fast as that. And if I turn my engine on, it would run twice as fast as what it basically did there. So as you can see, the tyre is now up. It can get you out of a lot of shit in the morning, especially. I will show you another video how to actually repair the tyre if you've got a puncture in it. Very simple bit of kit, and it's very cheap, and I would suggest you leave it in your car because you never know when you might need it. So that is the T-Max 12 volt air compressor. Great piece of kit. All snap off connections, really handy. Nice long 12 volt lead to your battery, which is very handy. Good quality clips as well, I have to say. It really is good quality. It's not cheap. You know, they haven't used cheap clips. They've used good quality clips, which does help. You don't want to leave it running too long, like I said. But you know, this could literally pump up 4 tyres in a couple of minutes. You know, you don't really need to leave them running long, and it's just a handy piece of kit. Again, you know, to have it in your car, fair enough. They're not particularly cheap. You're stuck in the middle of nowhere and you've got no spare time, and your tyre's gone flat. You've got that little kit I'm going to show in another video on this. Believe me, that money then becomes very cheap. And they're also good to have around the house anyway. You know, if you've got a wheelbarrow or your kids' bikes or anything like that, you know, it can pump anything really. You know, it really is. Footballs, you have all adapters to pump footballs in and stuff. Hello, Milo. Yeah, say hello. So, you know, you have all different adapters for all different sorts of stuff. So, you know, it is a pretty handy piece of kit. So look, hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.